Okay, this is part 4 of my room tour. So what I thought I'd show here is the spillover shelf. I didn't want to pack things too tightly, particularly with some of the cardboard boxes. I didn't want to trash them. So with this, we've got some Saturn games and Nintendo games. Not a huge Nintendo fan, but I did buy I've had an N64 for about 10 years or so now, but I bought a SNES about 6 months ago. So I used to like it back in the day, but I never bought one again for some reason. This is Pebble Beach Golf. I got these 3 games, these Super Famicom games from Geomark Games, probably around the same. Actually, I might have even ordered them at the same time. I bought a load of Buy It Now import SNES games, and they were a lot cheaper than I expected. Much cheaper than the PAL games. And even the box copies were only like 50p more, so I thought, well, why not? This one I'll have to look at in a upcoming video. It's very much like an anime style side-scrolling platformer. It's not like Probotector, it plays a bit more like Valis. And you've got the skiing snowboarding game, which is it's almost like a prequel to Val d'Isère. I think it might have even been called that in Europe. N64, they speak for themselves. And another Game Station special. So this is Turrican for the Game Boy. I think this is the only box game I've got for it. A really good conversion, considering that it's a low power 8-bit machine. They did a really good job. It does feel a lot like the Amiga version. Some Mario games, a couple or 3 it's for 3DS games. And we've got oops. Actually, I'll take that down. Stop it falling over. Highlander. I didn't get a big box with this. It was just as it was, and it plays. It's like Alone in the Dark or Resident Evil, that style of game, pre-rendered backgrounds. But the Jaguar just can't cope with the graphics. It's really slow. Even the loading's slow. It's not. It's alright. I think back in the day it was alright, but it's not aged well. And we've got Blue Lightning and VidGrid, which are packing games, and Myst, which I printed a long time ago on a very poor quality inkjet printer. It came with it was like a cardboard slip, so I added a side panel to it, which looks a bit horrible now. This I'll have to cover in an upcoming video. It's a Commodore calculator, which I had given to me many years ago. So these 2 at the end are, yes, Sony games on a Sega platform. These are Sewer Shark, which was an early full motion video game, and Ground Zero Texas, which is another full motion video game. But I actually enjoy this one. This was a game that came with my Japanese Mega Drive from the guy who was selling it, and he charged me like an extra tenner for this game. He thought it was really valuable. I had this back in the day when it first came out in the Mega CD, and I don't remember it being that expensive, but it was quite good. The video quality was a lot better. So with the Saturn, I don't have the original Daytona. I wasn't impressed with that game when it first came out, as mentioned in the other video. But I think Sega Rally, Max TT, the engine, the graphics system was much better, and I think they did a good job with Daytona trying to port that over to this system. The handling's a bit different, but if you got one of those, one of them Saturn 3D pads, it's much better to play. Sonicar. This is another Traveller's Tales game, and yeah. I don't know, I don't think it's aged very well. I think if you played it when it came out, it was really advanced. But I think if you were to play it on one of these PS2 GameCube collections, I don't know if a younger player would get much out of this, because it's a bit clunky in the way it plays, but it is a lot of fun. Virtua Fighter 2, Burning Rangers. This I got from the Market Vaults. I think I might have even got it the same day as No, it wasn't the same day. I got my CD32, but it was the same place. It was when I first moved to Scarborough, and I had a look around and I saw that, and I thought this has got to be a lot, worth a fortune, and it wasn't. It was just a cheap second-hand game, so I thought I'll have that. Fighters Megamix, That's a combination between Virtua Fighter and Last Bronx. And it's got the guy, so it's got the SD characters, and it's got the guy who was in the beta version of Virtua Fighter 1. Forget his name now. It's got a big sword. Street Fighter Alpha 2. This is my preferred version of Street Fighter Alpha. I've played Alpha 3 on the Dreamcast, and it doesn't feel quite as tight as this. This plays better, although it doesn't require the memory card, which is quite handy. Exhumed, Duke Nukem 3D. These are all lobotomy games, and they all use the same engine or modified version of it. But Exhumed is an original game. It's an amazing game on the Saturn. There is a PS1 port of it as well, and that's also, it's really good. It's practically identical. There's a few little changes, but you know, not that much. And Enemy Zero. This was from WizKids in Barnsley, which was a long gone independent game shop. And yeah, I'll have to cover that. It's kind of like an FPS, but the enemy's invisible, so there's a lot of sound cues. It kind of predates Resident Evil in a way. Space Hulk, 3DO conversion. Really nice game. Graphically, it's a lot like Alien vs Predator on the Jaguar, so it's kind of like Wolfenstein in its graphics, but it's got, you know, floor and ceilings and things like that, but everything's flat. Resident Evil, this is what was the director's cut on the PS1. I used to love this game. I like the GameCube version as well. It's a slightly different take on it. Visually, it's really good. Steep Outsiders looked at that. Guardian Heroes. It's a treasure game. It's got a lot of scaling in it, and it's a good use of the Saturn hardware, and you know, it's obviously loading a lot of graphics off the CD. Very hard, but very good in multiplayer. Speaking of multiplayer, Bomberman, really good version. Some people think this is the best version. I'm not sure personally. I actually prefer the Mega Drive one. And then we've got Discworld and Discworld 2, which are games that did come out on the PS1 as well, but these are your point and click LucasArts style, or Simon the Sorcerer style games. And it's got Eric Idle doing the voiceover of Rincewind. And Christmas Nights. Yeah, I regret that. That came on a slip card and I cut it up to put in a CD case. Yeah, that's regrettable. And Nights. And the Master System Converter, which was resurrected with that rubbing alcohol, which works perfectly fine now. So here, some boxes, Mega Drive, SNES, PS3, Atari ST originals for Turrican, Turrican 2, Ghosts and Ghouls, System Shock, High Soft Basic, Amiga development kit. I got that from the guy who donated that Amiga stuff. I haven't used it yet. I really should give it a try. And under the telly, stroke server, Acer Revo. Right, I've had to put this on the tripod because there's no way I can do this one-handed. So this box here is the box that I take to the Amiga group, so it's got various bits and bobs. There's a wireless card in there, network card, there should be, yeah, PCMCIA to compact flash, it's got an SD adapter in it, hard disk, CD-ROM, whatnot. So just enough. I don't like taking too much stuff, but these boxes are really useful. I've got one of these for each console, so I've got all the Mega Drive stuff and the controllers, and I can just slot this in the shelf, which is really handy. Box of old tapes, not sure what they are. SNES games, Super Famicom. So I've got the universal adapter, so you put your PAL game in there, your import game there, and it gets around the lockout chip. So these are the PAL ones: Buster, Bust Loose, Tiny Toons, Cybernator, Street Racer. So Cybernator's the second game in the Lanos series. Star Wing, Star Wars, Stunt Race, Illusion of Time, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Street Fighter 2 rather. No, I'm talking rubbish, it's Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I wanted to get a different game than I had on the Mega Drive, so I got that one. These are the Japanese Super Famicom games. So this is Super Puyo Puyo Final Stretch, which is a Mode 7 racing game. Pebble Beach, which was up there. This is Sitoko Battle 94, which is the precursor to the Tokyo Highway games. This was 95. Shitoko Battle 2, which is the sequel to 94. This is Toge Densetsu, which is by the same company, and it's a motorbike racing game. I've covered that. Ski Paradise, that's the skiing game. That was up there. This is Super Valis. Really should do a video of that soon because it's a good game. That's Zardian. Similar game. Bombazil, which I've done a video of. I think it was just after Christmas. Yeah, these boxes are quite handy. This box is loose cartridges, so I've got Worms, Castle of Illusion and Quackshot on a single cartridge. This is Mega Games 1, which has got World Cup Italia 90, which is Sega Soccer, Super Hang-On Columns. This is the 6-in-1, and that has Sega Soccer Columns, Super Monaco GP1, Revenge of Shinobi, Sonic and Streets of Rage, Master System, Operation Wolf, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Enduro Racer on the Atari 2600, which I got from Replay last year. So in here are the Jaguar cartridges, 32X games and N64, which I think all have cardboard boxes, so I've showed you those already, so there's no real need to go into them